Hello and welcome to the May Zoom edition of What's Up Stratford. And this is going to be a special edition, and we're going to be talking about CEAT, and you're going to find more about that. Starting the show and joining me is the community member, Oonagh. Oonagh, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So before we start about CEAT, tell us a bit about yourself because you have a background in law and also in educational law. So just tell us just a bit about you.
Oh, I'm a bit of a world citizen. I've lived in many different parts of the world. Um, I'm a recovering lawyer at this time, but enjoying doing other things, particularly I think as this area of equity, diversity, and inclusion has really expanded over the last couple of years, that it's been really wonderful and interesting to delve into. And because education is such a deep part of it in terms of its expansion, that the two sort of just meld very well.
I love it. So tell us about CEAT. What is CEAT? What is it? What does it
So
stand for, and what does
CEAT,
it do?
CEAT is the Community Equity Action Team. It was born, and I guess it was the brainchild of what was then a steering committee back in 2020. And this would be precipitated by the social justice uprisings as a result of the murder of George Floyd. And as police services around the world began to grapple with this idea of how do we do better? How do we be better as police officers and serve this community? And how does policing step into modernity? That it was seen that there needs to be some kind of bridge between the police and the management of the police and the community, because there seemed to be this widening gap that was just growing. And the Community Equity Action Team was born in relation to trying to bridge that gap.
Right. And I think actually, if it was Sir Peel, police is the community and the community is police. And I think the CEAT being part of the community as well as part of police is exactly going back to the genesis of policing as well. So some of the what are some of the actionable items? Because your committee is an advisory committee. It's about 15 months old. So what are some of the terms of reference and things that you're starting to do?
Well, at this time that you mentioned terms of reference, that is a document and that we know is going to be a living document that we are working on, trying to understand the very foundations of what it is we are. We were assisted in terms of our inception by the steering committee, by the Stratford Police Services Board, to be able to sort of emerge as this team. We took time to really get to know one another, because ordinarily, I think when diverse people come together, you just kind of put together and then given a mandate and off you go. But we decided to actually pause, understand where people are coming from in terms of this work, because everybody has some experience in relation to justice. You know, we all come at it at different angles, but to see how it is we can build a common vision together, understand police culture, you know. So one of the things we had been involved in toward the beginning of the year, for actually the first 3 months of the year, we've actually just finished, has been with the police training season. And so we went in and had these courageous conversations with the police, wanting to have them understand us, but also to get to know them, to get to know what policing is actually like on the ground. Unfortunately, I think we get our information at this time from social media and other sources, and they show us a particular version of what the police are, but we needed to understand and investigate the reality of what policing is like in Stratford, St. Mary's, and Perth South for ourselves.
What is a courageous conversation?
A courageous conversation is a space that has been purposely created to be able to delve into topics that might be uncomfortable. But as we've been intentional in creating this space collectively, the group does it together, that we're able to navigate difficult areas, to listen to the truth, to listen to one another's perspectives, to be able to challenge our assumptions and have others challenge them as well in a way that is non-threatening, but in a way that we're all seeking to learn.
I should have asked you this before, follow up on the policy and procedure manual. If I'm not mistaken, is that document not like 20 years old that you're working on updating?
Yes, we were just most recently given a policies and procedure manual that I believe was created back in 2002 or so. And it is due for an update. It has been updated, and the board saw fit to actually run it through the team, the CEAT team, for further suggestions and ideas as to how it too can actually reflect reality and reflect where the vision of where the police hope to be able to strive toward.
Oonagh, thank you very much for joining me. We're going to have 3 other members of your team join me. We're going to talk about different views that they have as well. So Oonagh, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Coming up next is Charlotte.